Hello to everyone, my name is Gregor and welcome to a new episode of Surfing the Elliott Waves, where I'll look at some of the most interesting developments for this week. This video has been brought to you by Orbex. I will take a look at the euro-dollar in correlation with German bonds. I will look at crude oil, natural gas, and S&P 500 and DAX index. So, German bond is probably very important market to track, or just to figure out where the euro dollar could go from here. As you know, euro dollar has been trading sideways for the last few weeks. It didn't move much. So I'm looking at the markets which has a clear pattern, and what I see here is that Bund has a very nice 5-wave fall here, followed by a 3-wave correction. And after this breakout occurred here, we finally have seen euro dollar turning to the upside, which makes sense because if the Bund price is turning to the downside, yields are rising. Obviously, that would be normal for euro dollar to move higher as well. So maybe this correlation, higher yields on German bonds and higher euro dollar, will now come back in place. So I'm expecting here bond prices to move even lower, meaning that euro dollar can finally attract more buyers. So looking at the wave count here, it's not very clear, but still, maybe you can count this as a 5-wave fall, 3-wave fall here. You have then this definitely, let me just draw this a little bit better, definitely a broken trend line here. And then, in fact, you can count this as a 5-wave rise. I know it's not very clear, but because of the Bund, okay, I'm expecting and leaving this valid options on the table. So watch out for potential maybe 10850 retest, and then just watch and observe the potential bounce here. If we get it, then I think that more upside could be seen. Okay, now let's take a look also on crude oil. Okay, now crude oil made a very nice bounce recently, and this bounce came from beneath $20 per barrel. And I would not be surprised actually if this market is going to see more upside. Why? Because even if we are here in a corrective wave 4, well, this corrective wave 4 should be made, as you know, by 3 waves. And looks like this first leg was a wave A, which unfolded as a 5-wave structure. So I'm expecting potentially more upside here. I'm just observing the lower time frames. We are between 60 and 78.6% here on a May contract. So ideally we will see a bounce this week. If we can rally above $25 per barrel, then I really, in impulsive fashion of course, then I really think that more upside will come here. Okay, so crude oil, maybe we'll see a temporary bounce, but I assume that sooner or later this 4th wave will see a higher pullback, and then we see what happens maybe around 35, maybe up to $40 per barrel. Maybe this downtrend is not finished yet, but as I said, if we will see a bounce above $25 per barrel, then I would not be surprised to see more upside. There's another energy market that suggests for potential reversal here is the natural gas. Firstly, here on a higher degree time frame chart, here's the daily chart. I don't have a labeled wave count, but what you see here is that actually this recent reversal from the lows came out of this wedge pattern. And when wedge pattern is finished, which is normally confirmed by this very strong breakup like we see it here, then you can expect that actually market will retrace back to this highest points of this wedge pattern, which is actually here. Okay, so I would not be surprised to see more upside, especially if we also consider this move out was made by 5 waves. Okay, this can be counted as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now you have an ABC setback. There can be a little bit more downside coming early this week, but then watch out and be aware of potential more upside. Of course, confirmation for straight move higher would be a daily close above this wave B swing high. Okay, so this can be another energy stocks that could energy market, that could suggest that energies in general could be facing our reversals. Okay, now let's take a look also on the S&P 500. Now the S&P 500 came to the upside, and looks like it's now trading in potential wave C or wave 3. I know that this if you are Elliott wave trader, if you are looking at the charts from Elliott wave eye, that maybe this is not very helpful. But it's really important to be patient and wait on a proper price action, on more price data, before we can either confirm that we are in a wave 3 in a very strong extended lag, or if we are only in a wave C. Well, what is really important is probably timing, okay, and the price, which means in the next 48 hours, we may see a retest of these very important levels here from early March, when actually this breakdown happened, and we are now back in this zone. And this is a very nice potential resistance zone. So the idea is, if we are going to fill this gap, and if we suddenly will fall in 5 waves, then we will know that this market is going back to the downside. If, on the other hand, we will see a very strong move through this zone, then I think that more upside could actually come with an impulsive price action. Okay, so I know that, as I said earlier, this may not be helpful, but it's really important to wait on a proper price action so that we know in which direction we may look after those developments. Okay, now I really like the wave structure on DAX. Now DAX has maybe a better, clearer wave structure here. What I'm looking at here is a potential 5-wave rise here from the lows, meaning you may see a pullback. And again, this is a very nice wave structure, but even this one, even if you have a 5 waves up, suggests that you should be careful that we may see a 3-wave retracement. At the same time, notice that this breakout, this support that was taken out a month back, was actually didn't turn into a resistance. We actually are now above that level once more, meaning that maybe we are headed even into this back into this gap in the next few weeks. So, like I see it stocks right now, I would not be surprised if we see even more upside, maybe just after minor temporary pullback. Okay, traders, thank you very much for your attention. I hope that this video was helpful. I really believe that we will get much clearer price action in this week. A lot of decisions could be made about this risk on, risk off moves. So I assume that this could be very helpful when this market will resolve itself. Will be very helpful to know what to trade on the FX floor. Okay, traders, thank you very much for your attention. Talk to you soon. Bye.